What's up, everyone? It's Tim from TimPlaysAGame. Tonight, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a tier list for 25 of the best N64 games, and I'm not going to be able to get to all the N64 games. This is just a list of 25 games that my friend sent me. Said that we talked about it. We both agreed that these were 25 of the best. If I had to go into all the N64 games, we'd be here forever. So, basically, as you can see, it breaks down into 6 tiers. One being never played, but being the first, being S, which I consider a must play, then A, then B, C, and D. D not being bad, it's just they're not as good as the rest of them. So, alright, let's start talking about all of them. I'm just going to go through the list here, starting on the left. We'll work our way. First one, Smash Brothers. This is a big deal. First of all, I consider Smash Brothers probably the greatest crossover game of all time. As far as crossovers go, it was just an amazing game. For the N64, it was like one of the most addictive fighting games ever. You have games like Mortal Kombat, which are crazy addictive. As far as platforming fighting games, this one was actually pretty decent. I mean, had a good roster. It had a good number of characters. Basically, it's held up. It's a game that is timeless, really. I mean, I hate throwing that term out, but that's kind of true here. And it just kind of now in the year, this came out in 1999. Now in the year 2022, 23 years later, we still have people trying to make their own, take all their intellectual properties and turn them into a fighting game. But so I'm gonna have to put this one. I mean, this one kind of has to be in the S tier, the must-play tier. It is a must-play game in my opinion, and if you haven't played the original Smash Brothers, I would highly recommend it. Getting on, and speaking of other games that are that are up there, Banjo Kazooie. Now you have some of the best games. You talk about adventure games. You talk about Super Mario 64. You talk about Legend of Zelda. But for the N64, Banjo Kazooie was one that kind of. I'm gonna try to choose this carefully. It was. I mean, really, if I'm putting. I'm just saying, you think Mario 64, you think of those adventure, you think those games, but Banjo Kazooie was kind of underrated for the time. It's actually a really decent game. I've played it now. I'll play it again probably for a while. I like the way it worked out. My only concern with this one is the play control on this one. Kind of frustrated me a lot. It's like trying to I remember Banjo slipping off platforms a lot. Not just slipping, I guess I just couldn't land on the platforms too well. Other than just whenever I'm jumping or I jump over something, I just completely missed that. Might have been my 10-year-old, or it came out in 1999, so yeah, 11-year-old ability of playing games not being good. Other than that, a really great game. I'm gonna have to put this one in the A tier, though. I know I'm gonna catch crap for that because there are people who regard this as the best Nintendo 64 game. I just don't see it that way. That's just me. All right. Next one, can't say this one 3 times fast. Wave Race 64. This was a game that, honestly, I didn't even buy. I think my dad bought it, and it was my dad bought it, and he thought he had a whole thing for jet skis. I mean, jet skis are awesome. We live in Florida. they're freaking. If you live near the water and you want to have a good time, a jet ski is the way to go, because there's no real way to surf on Florida waves. There's no Florida waves. It's very calm except during hurricane season. So jet skis, at the time, jet skis were awesome, but they were expensive. So Wave Race 64 was cool, that you could just race jet skis, and they didn't have a lot of tracks, but They had only 4 racers, by the way. That's all. I think there might have been a secret racer, but I remember just being 4 racers. But it didn't really matter because there were only 4 controllers you could plug in to an Nintendo 64. So, And yeah, you just kind of have to. The first few courses are easy. I remember like one of them being like an industrial place, like place you would never ride a jet ski. Other than that, though, it was actually a really good racing game. Even yeah, for only like 4 people, and yeah, it didn't have like the items like Mario 64 or Mario Kart 64 had. Um, yeah, it was its own thing, and it really worked out really well. I'm gonna put that one in the B tier. It's again good game, but there are better racing games for the N64. We're gonna get to those later on. Okay, this one I'm gonna catch crap for. Pokemon Puzzle League. Let's be real here. I'm gonna be brutally honest in this one, and I know I'm gonna catch crap. I don't care. Pokemon Puzzle League is basically a puzzle game where you just kind of have to match. I'm trying to remember that now. You're trying to match squares. It's yeah, basically a puzzle game. Now, if they just made a puzzle game, that would have been great on its own. But what they decided to do was they decided to take like Pokemon from the anime. They took from the Pokemon anime characters and Pokemon, and they just kind of like it was just like a cosmetic for this game. This game, other than the fact that there are Pokemon on it, has absolutely nothing to do with Pokemon. That's my big problem with this game. It's other than that, it's a great puzzle game. And they have it like set up like you have to fight gym leaders and collect badges, becoming the greatest Pokemon master. That's actually on the box art, becoming the greatest Pokemon puzzle master of them all. But honestly, it just felt like they took Pokemon, they took any random game and slapped a Pokemon cosmetic on it, and they created this game that has nothing to do with Pokemon. It's something like they did with crap. I'm not like Pokemon Pinball, which is a great pinball game, but then they just slap Pokemon on it, and there's like a thing where you have to catch Pokemon by like playing the pinball game, but still, it just felt like it just felt cheap. It felt like a cheap way to get people interested in the game, and other than that, though, great. I'm sure I've played the game. It's a great game. I just can't forgive them for that. I got to put it in the D tier for that one. Diddy Kong Racing. This was actually a racing game I played almost as much as Mario Kart 64, and we're going to get to Mario Kart 64 later on. Diddy Kong Racing was one of those games where it was fun. I think they were trying to like coast on Mario Kart 64. It looks a lot like Mario Kart 64, but they did something different that Mario Kart eventually took advantage of. They have different vehicles. You have the cart, and then you have the plane, and then you have the hovercraft. And the hovercraft was like a hydrofoil, or I don't know, just basically it was like land and ocean you could like race on. It wasn't as fast as the cart, and then the plane, I guess, could cut corners, but again, I think the cart was faster. The plane was more nimble, didn't turn well. I think. But the hovercraft could like go on top of water and on top of land, so it was easier to move around. So yeah, it was a whole thing where you had to like choose which vehicle you're going to use, and then. But yeah, other than that though, it basically took Mario Kart 64 and then kind of worked on top of that. It didn't have a battle mode though, like Mario Kart 64. It took rares, all rares, intellectual properties like Diddy, it didn't have Donkey Kong. It had Diddy Kong. It had Conker. You'll see from Conker's Bad Fur Day. Banjo from Banjo Kazooie. Yeah, Banjo was in it, which was yeah, Banjo was in it before Banjo Kazooie came out, so that was the thing. There was a story mode too. I remember that a whole story mode. I liked it. So, but I wouldn't. That being said, it was a little bit rougher around the edges than Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart 64 felt smooth. I'm going to place that probably along Wave Race. It had a good selection of characters to choose from, but it was pretty technical. I felt like I don't know. I felt like it kind of stepped up in difficulty near the end with the story mode, and Yeah, it's a very weird game, but it's good. It's good weird. But of games like I probably wouldn't put it on the same level as Banjo Kazooie. It feels like it'd be on the same level as Wave Race. All right, now we're getting into games I've never played. Unfortunately, I just want to kind of talk about though. I have like looked into them. One of them being Blast Corps. I've heard about this one. I'm gonna have to put that. I'm gonna have to put that in never played. But from what I've heard about it, from I've read up on it, it was owned by Rare. Rare did a lot of Nintendo 64 games. God, Rareware, yeah. Uh, see, Rare's inventive Blast Corps about clearing a path for a runaway nuclear missile carrier. Uh, see, well, I'm just reading something online about it. There's assortment of destructive hardware like giant bulldozers, dump trucks, mechs with names like Thunderfist, J-Bomb, seem purely focused on cruising around and blowing stuff up. Apparently it's a puzzle game, but again, I never played it. It was one of the games I wanted to mention though because it did get a lot of praise. And whenever I talk to people about the N64, they always bring up Blast Corps, and it's like, I'm like, have you heard of Blast Corps? It's such a great game. I'm like, no, what's it about? It's like, oh, dude, you never played Blast Corps? Have you? I mean, I played so many other games on the N64. I was 11 and 12 when it came out. I had basically whatever games my parents would buy me. That's it. And Blast Corps I didn't even hear of at the time. So I had to put that on the never played list. Again, I'll probably look into that later if I can. I'll probably look up, I'll probably after this video, I'm done making this video, I'll look up some things. But yeah, Blast Corps was just a game that I just never got around to playing. So I'll let the comments section decide where that goes on the tier list. All right, 1080 Snowboarding. This was an interesting one because it's kind of a sport game. It's kind of racing. It's doing tricks like snowboarding. It's kind of like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, which I didn't put on this list, but that was actually a really good one. But 1080 Snowboarding, it's a really good looking game. If you ever like see video of people playing it, I look back now. I'm just looking at like it was hard. It's hard to believe that this was on the N64, and I remember playing it. I remember I think I've played it for about a week. Yeah, back when Blockbuster Video was a thing, but you could rent games. I think during the summer one year, I rented a bunch of different games. They had this like play for a summer pass or something. You could just like go there, rent a game, bring the other one back, and then just rent another one and just play all the different games they had there. I did play 1080 degree snowboarding. I know it did get a lot of good reviews. I liked it. Didn't love it, but I liked it. Yeah, so, but for what it's worth though, for the fact that it was on the N64, I'm gonna put that in the C tier. Good game. I wouldn't rate it as high as like Smash Brothers or Banjo or it's a good game. If you like snowboarding, definitely give that one a look. If you have an N64 still, I hope they kind of bring that back for the N64 Classic so I can play it again. I don't think I played it to the fullest when I originally played it. All right, Mario Golf. I like golf. I like Mario. Some reason though, Mario Golf, it just felt like like the same feeling with Pokemon Puzzle League. It just kind of slapped Mario on a golf game. But honestly, I remember having fun with this one too. They brought it back for a number of different games. I think they brought it back for the Switch, Mario Golf, which was kind of fun. I wish I liked golf more, or golf games more. Let's see, what to really say about this one? I'm not really enthusiastic about this. It's simple. I remember it being a very simple game when I played it. It was very straightforward. You just aim at the hole putt or aim at the hole swing. You kind of have a good idea. It's not like anything's going to jump out at you. It's basically a golf game. I remember there being like everything was Mario themed. They had Mario themed courses. I can't remember any of them in particular, right? Any specific ones. I know they tried putting Mario Tennis on the Virtual Boy, but so it kind of felt like Mario. So when I like rented Mario Golf, I remember it being like, oh boy. But this one was better. Yeah, they still making Mario Golf games today. So I'm probably gonna put this on the C tier. If you do like golf games and you do have an N64, I definitely give that one a look. Paper Mario. This one, I did not expect this one to be as good as it was when I originally played it. I'm just looking. It was a Mario game. I rented it. I think here's the thing though. I rented it. I had it for like 5 days, and then I had to return it. I think, or whatever time they have. I think it was either a week or 5 days. But I remember, like, as I was playing it, I remember I didn't finish it, but I wanted to finish it. So I'm like, can I just rent the same game again? And then I don't want to lose my progress on it, and yeah, I basically continued playing it for another 5 days, and it was probably one of the first RPG games I ever played. It was really, yeah. Oh no, wait, no. Super Mario, for the Super NES Mario RPG, that was the first one I played, but this one was like the first one I enjoyed. Yeah, they basically took Mario RPG and then they stepped it up with Paper Mario. Paper Mario was much better. Super Mario RPG was fun, but I think they did what they could with Super NES, and then with N64, they were able to do a lot more. This one looked really clean, it had really great graphics. Everything was made of paper, of course, but still, or made to look like made of paper. The story was good. And yeah, it's actually, I mean, you can go back and play that game now. I think it's on Nintendo 64 Classic. Or the Nintendo 64 for the Switch. Yeah, the online for the Switch, yeah. So, I'm going to have to put that in the I don't know. This one's tough, though. Do I put it S or A? I feel like it is a must-play. I kind of feel bad putting it over Banjo Kazooie, but I remember just enjoying Paper Mario more than Banjo Kazooie. Yeah, so Paper Mario, definitely a good adventure game. A lot of Mario games are probably going to be pretty high on this list. Going to give you just a heads up there. Mario Party 3. Now, why is Mario Party 3 in here, not Mario Party 1 or 2? I felt like well, first of all, I took this from a list of top 25. But I remember Mario Party 3 being like the better one, just because they took... Yeah, they took some of the Mario Party... I think Mario Party 2 was good, but then Mario Party... They made Mario Party 1 for the... This is all on the N64. Mario Party 1, 2, and 3. Mario Party 1 was good. Alright, that was a good game. That was a solid party game. Then they made Mario Party 2, and they stepped in... And that game was actually better when they improved on it. Mario Party 3, though, was... They had, like, new mini-games. They had more stuff. They just kind of stepped it up. It's hard to say if Mario Party 2 or 3 was better. People could argue about that all day. I remember Mario Party 3 being the better one. I remember playing that one more than any other Mario Party game when I had the N64. Yeah, I think in Mario Party 3 they introduced Waluigi and Daisy. Well, Daisy was from Super Mario World 3 or something. I don't know. But yeah, they started like bringing those characters... I'm not sure. Was Waluigi Mario Party 2 or Mario Party 3? I can't remember. They had dual mode. That was fun. Honestly, the Mario Party games were always fun, but I remember Mario Party 3 standing out. This one's a tough one though. I'm kind of leaning between A and B. I mean, you can play it on its own. That's the thing I look for. Like, multiplayer is kind of a cool functionality to being able to, like, just as replay value goes. Once you complete Banjo-Kazooie, I mean, you can just kind of go back and try to find all the extra stuff. But Mario Party 3 is, like, one of those games that you can just continuously play, and it's a really good, really solid game. Really solid party game. Mario Party kind of defined the party game genre. Alright, next one, Banjo-Tooie. Now, this was one of those that has like a Mandela effect on me. For the longest time, I thought it was called Banjo-Tooie. Banjo like Tootie, because he has like a little sister named Tootie. So I thought like she was in it too, so they call it Banjo-Tooie. But even this day, I look back at it and it's just Banjo-Tooie, like Kazooie, but they just call it 2, and I don't know, just it's called Banjo-Tooie. But so it's a continuation of where Banjo Kazooie left off. It was basically a sequel. I know they had like a thing with a cartridge. They were trying to like. I'm reading this on a site. Like there was original plans to link the cartridges by physically swapping them back and forth. In the N64, which was nixed by Nintendo. There's also Easter eggs, and inaccessible ice key did make the appearance in Tooie. So yeah, it kind of felt like it kind of completed Banjo. It was kind of like a continuation of Banjo Kazooie, which is good. I remember I played it for a little while though, and again, I kind of felt like I remember as I was playing it, I kind of felt like this is just more of the same stuff, which was good. Banjo Kazooie was good, but I don't know, it just didn't feel like it was an improvement. If that makes any sense. I remember when playing it. The transformations were cool. They had transformations in there. Yeah, it felt pretty smooth. It felt pretty good. I remember, I think Rare tried to do Donkey Kong 64, which didn't make this list. But, yeah, I just remember it being more. So I'm going to kind of... Yeah, this one kind of hurts, but I'm putting it in the B tier just because it was more. It felt like more of the same. It was a fun game, but yeah, it didn't. There's like a lot of play. I remember there was a lot to explore, but back then I remember just when I was my simple kid age, I just remember trying to like complete the game, like not wanting to explore too much. Going forward, Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark, yeah, it was. There were two games that are like that were really good shooters that were on the N64. One of which was GoldenEye 007. We'll be getting to that one eventually, and the other one was Perfect Dark, which actually came out after, a good 3 years after GoldenEye 007. And people have always argued which one is the better shooter. Most people will say Perfect Dark, but for the time, GoldenEye 007 was amazing. But going by this one, Perfect Dark, I gotta put this one in the S tier, just because it was a really good shooter. It's more, I remember being more slower paced than, some of the shooters you're gonna see today. It's really... Yeah, it's... Oh God, man, I hate... I'm trying to remember everything I played from back in this game came out in 2000, by the way, near the end of the N64 life cycle. I think I think that might have been like the last Nintendo 64 game I bought. No, wait, Majora's Mask was the last one I bought. Then Perfect Dark was like right before that. Yeah, it had a lot of good weapons. Did it have a story mode? I'm trying to remember if it had a story mode. I think it did. God, I can't remember. This is one of those games. I wish I could remember it better. But, yeah, I'm putting it in the S tier list because a lot of people say it is probably one of the better shooters. I'm going to get to GoldenEye 007. This one here, WWF No Mercy. This one is a weird one because the fact that it was made. I'm trying to remember the people who made it. I'm looking up the names right now of the people who made WWF No Mercy. Hideyuki Washida. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Was the director on that game. And it's very simple fighting mechanics, but it worked. The simplicity worked well in that game. I remember I had just gotten into wrestling, and at the time it came out, and it was one of those games. Again, I rented it from Blockbuster. I liked it. I rented it again. I think I rented it a third time actually. I had my own created wrestler. I forget his name. Yeah, they had the whole created wrestler system, which was easy. They had really good story modes. Oh my god, the story modes were perfect. I mean, a lot of reading, but still. Yeah, they didn't have any voice cast. They didn't have any mouth movements. They're just like, and they're like their hands were always balled up into fists. But it was done well. It was easy. It was simple to pick up and play. And here's the thing: if you made choices, it actually affected the rest of the story. So there was like different endings and stuff. This was amazing for a game where games didn't have that. For N64, they didn't have that. You basically had the start, and you had the finish, one ending, that's it. This one, though, the story mode branched, and it was actually pretty good. It was one of those moments of catching lightning in a bottle, and I think it was what was it, Jack Specific? I might be wrong on that one. But yeah, they've since then they tried other wrestling games, and they're just not as good, or they just have problems. And I feel like this one, though, yeah, WWF No Mercy, yeah, I gotta put that one a little bit higher on the list. Probably I'm putting it on the B tier list. Fun game. I wouldn't consider it on par with Banjo Kazooie. I figure if you like wrestling, though, then then you definitely like this. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Yeah, this one I have to remember this one. I know I did play it. Some of these I'm looking up because I need a memory refresher. I know GameCube had Star Wars Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron 2. But the original, the first game for the N64, it followed Luke Skywalker as he piloted his way through 15 missions. Through Tatooine, Corellia, Mon Calamari. God, I know I played this one. God, I know I played this one. I'm just trying to remember the different missions. I think I know one. And I might be getting this one wrong though, which is why I'm a little leery about this one. I think there was a mission where you play as Obi-Wan, and you have to use the lights. You're in a lightsaber battle on this moving platform. I really hope that's Rogue Squadron, but it might not be. You know what? I'm gonna put this one in never played because I'm not sure if I played it. There were a bunch of different Star Wars games. I'm not sure if this is the one. I played one of them. I know they did a Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. That one I tried and I didn't like it, and and then I think there was Star Wars Episode 1 Battle for Tatooine. I might be wrong on that one too. Or is it Star Wars something, I don't know, Battle, maybe it's something Tatooine, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna put that one never played and be safe, because I don't think I can give an honest opinion on that one. GoldenEye 007. I'm leaning between A and S. I have cousins who will never forgive me if I put it in honestly, I feel for the time, though, it was an amazing game. Probably one of the best games for the Nintendo 64. Kind of feel bad, but here's the thing, it was glitchy. There was some areas where in the story mode that didn't trigger the right way. We had to, yeah, I don't know, it was really easy to fail missions, so you had to restart. You had to completely start the whole mission over again. That was kind of frustrating. Other than that, though, the multiplayer was amazing. I think that being the kind of the weird story mode missions kind of took. I was taken aback by. I just didn't like it. I feel though that the multiplayer made up for it, but I'd got to give it an A. So slightly under Perfect Dark. So yeah, I'm basically saying Perfect Dark being the better game, but it did come out Perfect Dark came out 3 years after 007. So yeah, but we're not taking into account time or anything. All right, Pokemon Stadium 2. I was thinking about doing Pokemon Stadium, but Pokemon Stadium was kind of basic. Pokemon Stadium 2, you had access to Gen 2 Pokemon, you needed the little connector for the Nintendo 64 controller, where you could like you connect the game to the Game Boy game to the controller, so you can use the Pokemon on it. So and that didn't come with Stadium 2. That came with Pokemon Stadium 1. So in reality, in order to enjoy this game, you need Pokemon Stadium, you need Pokemon Stadium 2, and you needed at least one other of the Pokemon Adventure Game Boy games. Yeah, this was not a cheap game. But other than that, though, it was better. I remember it being better than Pokemon Stadium 1. I enjoyed Pokemon Stadium 1 because this was like the first time you actually got to see like 3D Pokemon. Before that, it was just like two JPEG images fighting each other. And then this one had like a really good story mode with like Shadow Pokemon. I think, was it Shadow Pokemon? I'm not sure about that one now. Let me be sure I know what I'm talking about. I think the Shadow Pokemon came in a later Pokemon Coliseum game. And in all honesty, I think they need to bring back Pokemon Coliseum so we can use all the Pokemon, just saying, instead of just some of the Pokemon some of the time. There were actually mini games too, which was weird. Mini games just felt like kind of like an afterthought. Like, okay, are you done playing Pokemon Stadium? Well, you can play these mini games now, and it's like cool, but it just I think they kind of ran out of ideas for this game. They had mini games in Pokemon Stadium 1, but those were just lame. They had they tried to like turn into a party game, or they just try to have like aspects of a party game, which is it's cool. I just kind of feel like though it takes away from the focus. It's like in addition to Pokemon Stadium, we also have mini games, and it's like cool. It doesn't really add to the fun. It just kind of is its own separate thing. But yeah, 3D Pokemon was a big deal. I'm gonna put this. I think I'm gonna put this in the C tier list, just C tier, just because there were so many different add-ons you needed to just enjoy this one game. But other than that, though, if you had them all, though, it was very gratifying. All right, Mario Kart 64, probably the best racing game I ever played. Just saying. This one's gonna get high up on the list. I remember this was one of those games. My family, my dad, my sister, we all played. I had friends who played it. I remember having. It was like one of the few games we had like 4 controllers for. We actually had to buy a 4th controller because we had like 3 controller. We had like either 2 or 3 controllers before, but we need a 4th controller for this time. So yeah, we bought a 4th controller for this game, and yeah, it was a really fun party game. The battle mode was probably the best part. The battle mode, we just like it was just like people ganging up on each other. I remember everyone in my family laughing themselves to the point where that eyes closed laughter. You know what I'm talking about? Just like squinting laughter, like the laughter has taken control of them. So I have fond memories with that one. I have to put that in the S tier list. Over Mario Party 3, which is kind of weird, but Mario Kart 64 I feel like is better racing game than Wave Race and Diddy Kong Racing, better party game than Mario Party, than any of the 3 Mario Parties. I mean, Mario Kart 64, it's a racing game. It's basically a game anyone can pick up. The only problem I've ever seen anyone have with this game is not knowing when to accelerate, is not holding down the A button to accelerate. That's like the only issue I remember seeing anyone with the game have with that game. Other than that, though, everyone played it. If you had an N64, you probably had Mario Kart 64 or Super Mario 64, which we'll get to eventually. Ogre Battle 64. Another game I never played, but I do want to talk about it. Okay, so the official name is... Let me see if I can pull this up here. And this is another game people bring up that I just kind of scratch my head whenever they talk about. It's just... I never played it, but I heard good things about it. Ogre Battle 64, Person of Lordly Caliber. Ooh, that's a good name. I like that. Long name, kind of mouthful. I think this was like a third-party game. Real-time strategy genre. I'm just kind of reading things here. Modeled after the March of the Black Queen on the SNES. Map-based, real-time strategy gameplay with an RPG-like battle system. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to look that one up later. I feel like, though, that probably wouldn't have stimulated my 11-year-old brain. Came out? When did it come out? I don't have a date. Okay. I'm sure it probably came out in like 1999 or something. This is one of those games I didn't hear of. Ogre Battle 64. Person of lordly caliber. Yeah, so they say it's a mix of 2D and 3D. RTS and RPG, story and exploration. It seems like a game that would have probably done well now. Maybe it might have been a little ahead of its time. But yeah, I think yeah, it's kind of like a Fire Emblem type game. Yeah, definitely probably would have done better now than back then. So yeah, one of those games I'd probably, if I ever get a chance, I will play. And then this one too. I'm kicking myself for not playing this one. Silicon Valley. God, I got, again, a long name. Long names don't help games. If you're going to make a game, make sure it's like, yeah, it's like 3 words tops. This is the name of the game. Space Station Silicon Valley. I'm just going to read off here. I'm just reading it myself. This is a third-party game. It was 1998 puzzle game that casts players as the remains of a damaged robot, a walking microchip who could take over a variety of robotic animals to solve smart and often hilarious puzzles. Yeah, probably wouldn't have stimulated my, let's see, 1998, so 10-year-old brain. Yeah, I really got to look back at some of these games. I feel bad now starting this whole list, and I'm just gonna throw another one on there too. This will be the last one on the never played list. Everything else I'm sure I've played. That one is, again, short names, people. Come on. And this one actually got pretty high on the list. Beetle Adventure Racing, 1999. It came out. It's Volkswagen. Yeah, Volkswagen Beetle. It was showcasing Volkswagen's new Beetle that was released in 1998. It had really good level design. The thing didn't have a lot of variety between the cars. Yeah, it had basically like 6 huge tracks, lots of shortcuts, off and side roads. So yeah, it's one of those games I didn't get a chance to play, but honestly, I don't feel like that would have appealed to me if I had Mario Kart and Wave Race and Diddy Kong Racing. I don't think I would want a 4th racing game. So yeah, again, these 5 games, I'm gonna let you guys decide on. Again, I feel bad for not giving them a rating or anything, but Beetle Adventure Racing, God, I gotta remember that. I got Blast Corps, Star Wars Rogue Squadron, Ogre Battle 64, and Space Station Silicon Valley. I regret never playing them now. Might have to go back and try to find an N64 and try to like, I don't know, try to find something, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Let's see, we got 5 more games here. We're going to try, finish off everything up in this video. F-Zero X. Now, talking about racing games again. This one, though, I did rent. I played it. I liked it a lot. I don't think it was as good as Mario Kart 64. But I remember the whole F-Zero franchise is about being like super fast. So if you're like into crazy speed wrestling, it's like, or crazy speed racing, not wrestling, racing, then yeah, it's probably the thing. It's probably the thing for you. I remember like the SNES version was like kind of seemed flat. This one though. This one, yeah, I remember this one being like really smooth, and then I read up on it, and Hold on, let me make sure I'm right about this before I say it. Yeah, it was 60 frames per second, which on a Nintendo 64. This came out on the Nintendo 64 was 1998 to 2000 roughly. So having any game run in 60 frames per second was amazing. F-Zero X, let's see. Yeah, it had different things, vehicles to choose from. I guess you would call them ships. I don't know. Oh God! Apparently, the Japanese, players, owners of the Nintendo 64 Diddy, the one where you have a disc drive on the Nintendo 64. They got more tracks and cars. There was an expansion kit. Locked the very track editor Nintendo's designers used to make tracks. Wow, okay. Wow, I wish I could have gotten that version of the game. Holy crap. So, but, yeah, based on what I played, probably on, yeah, I'm going to put it on par with Wave Race and Diddy Kong Racing, but I know... I was more... I think I felt like that was more my speed for, like, Wave Race and Diddy Kong Racing. F-Zero felt like it was too fast for me. Like, whoa, intimidatingly fast. Star Fox 64. This is probably, like, the most sci-fi game I played growing up. I remember the original Star Fox on the SNES. That one was tough. It was tough because it wasn't like it was all wired and wire frames and stuff. It felt more like, yeah, it just didn't. It felt like it was like trying to be fast paced, but it couldn't because of the SNES. But the Nintendo 64 gave it like so much more freedom. Like, the better graphics, better everything really. Just everything was an improvement from the SNES version. There was actually a pretty decent story. There's missions and stuff where you had to, like, again, this is one of the few games where it had different endings, whether if you went a certain route and accomplished missions, or went a different route and like just completed the missions, and they rewarded you for accomplishing missions, for accomplishing certain tasks. They had a multiplayer mode that was fun, a battle mode. I think I played more for the story mode though. The battle mode was cool. Ah, jeez. Yeah, it was easy to play. Easy. I remember I introduced friends to the game. They picked it up. They played it. They destroyed me. It was that easy for them to learn. I remember it did. It was one of the few games I actually bought, not rented. But where to put it on this list, though? That's the question. Probably gonna catch crap for this one. I gotta put it in the S tier list. It's one of those games you gotta play. You just gotta. And here's the thing, though. Ever since Star Fox 64, aside from Star Fox Adventures, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Star Fox was able to get much better. I know they did Star Fox Zero, which kind of bombed because of the way they tried to incorporate the Wii U gamepad. They did some 3DS and some DS Star Fox games that weren't that good. Star Fox Adventures was fun. If I ever do a GameCube tier list, that one will probably go up high on the list. Yeah, I just remember enjoying that game, enjoying Star Fox. Trying to think, like, yeah, just really fun game. Just really, like, flying. I kind of felt like there was a sense of freedom being able to fly around, and even like the training, like the tutorial, the training area, that was fun. Just going around shooting ships. Moving on. Super Mario 64. This one's going up there. Yeah, this is one of those adventure games. These last three are going to be near the top. I'm just going to tell you right now. Near the top of the list. Super Mario 64 was one of those games that if you had a Nintendo 64, it was the first game for the Nintendo 64, if you had a Nintendo 64, you played Super Mario 64. 151, I might be wrong about this one, 150 stars, yeah, 150 stars, not Pokemon. that you had to collect in the game. It was just one of those games, like, it was like 3D kind of adventure. There was like every Mario game up until then had been like side scrolling, so having like a freedom to move up, down, left, right, forward, backward. It was just crazy and just running. And people just like, some people just played Mario 64 and they just ran around in circles and just surfed on turtle shells and like just kind of challenged Bowser over and over again, just picking up Bowser and swinging him into bombs over and over again. Yeah, it's one of those games. It's just, it's easy to pick up. It's easy to play. I think it kind of paved the way for other adventure games to be kind of like open world and kind of allowing people to go at their own pace instead of like trying to be so linear and having like a dedicated beginning and a dedicated end. Mario 64, you could just go to any level, play any star. Well, not any. Some things like opened up over time as you advanced. But like you just go, like you go to the water world, and then later you can go to Bob-omb's Fortress and Womp's Fortress, and then Womp's Fortress, and then you can go fight Bowser if you wanted to, or you go outside and chase the dang rabbit around. It was just like, yeah, you could just do things at your own pace, which was such a cool idea that I felt like eventually added to the whole open world concept. So I got to put this up there in the must play list. With Smash Brothers, Paper Mario, Perfect Dark, Mario 64, Star Fox, and I'm starting to see a pattern here. 64, 64, 64. If it has a 64 on it, it's okay in my book. Not, I guess Ogre Battle 64 would be cool too. Alright, I'm going to start with Zelda, Ocarina of Time, then I'm going to get to Majora's Mask because that was the sequel. I saved these two for last intentionally because I want to talk about this one. Legend of Zelda... Holy crap, Ocarina of Time is the best game for the Nintendo 64. I challenge you to change my mind. Everything I said about Super Mario 64, this is different. I mean, Zelda felt like it was open world, but this one, I mean, it was more linear. Like, you had freaking Navi in your ear telling you, okay, you gotta go here, you gotta do this, go there and do this. But you could still just, like, go around and just explore and find secret stuff, which was cool, but yeah, that was my only complaint was Navi. Other than that, though, I'm not going to let one bad grape spoil the whole bunch. This game was just incredible. The dungeons were phenomenally designed. I'm trying to think, like, one in particular, water temples, like, that one's difficult because you have to raise the water level to get to certain areas, then you have to lower it to get to other areas. You're not quite sure. You really had to really explore in order to know where you're going. That was crazy things that eventually laid the groundwork for other Zelda games. Other adventure games in general, really. You had to find items. You had to... Well, that was like... Yeah, that's been true for every Zelda game. But the items were so crazy and different. You had, like, your bow and arrow and stuff. That was cool. You had, like, a Lens of Truth you had to use, like, to find, like, your way through areas. There were, like, invisible walls or invisible enemies, and you had to use, like, a lens to find them. I think... Oh, horseback riding. That was the big thing. You got a horse to ride on. That was so cool, and you could just, like, ride. I think there was, like, a race area. You, like, race the one guy on the horse, and that was it. I think there was this quest where you have to, side quest where you have to find and shoot the ghosts while riding on the horse. So yeah, it was just great adventure, and the story was amazing too. I don't want to spoil anything about the story, but if you're looking for like a good story game, you gotta put Ocarina of Time on there. So yeah, suffice it to say, it's going in the S tier list. That's happening. Now... I'm trying to think. I want to make sure I wrap up all my ideas here before I get to the next one. Ocarina of Time. They had Z-target. I like Z-targeting on the Ocarina of Time, where you could hold down the Z button or press the Z button, and that would target one enemy, and then you'd say just like randomly swinging at whatever, hoping that you hit it. You could like generally target them. You could backflip. Then you could like lunge forward. I thought that was a cool idea. I figured like that made the combat system easy to pick up in a 3D environment, which people were not used to. Okay, I think I've said my piece about Ocarina of Time. This is the big one, Majora's Mask. Here's the thing. They took the engine from Ocarina of Time, and they took all the characters from Ocarina of Time, and they added them, and they used that as the groundwork to make Majora's Mask. From there, they create a whole world. They create a new world for Majora's Mask. But you'll see a lot of the characters, they just have different names. You'll see characters from Ocarina of Time in Majora's Mask with different names. That felt kind of cheap. Other than that, though, I mean, there was a number of different things. I felt like it wasn't as good as Ocarina of Time, but still really good. The story in Majora's Mask was freaking amazing. God, I got so many different things here. So many good and bad things about this game. I'm just gonna give you like the basic story. It's Link. He's traveling through the forest. He gets captured. He gets his horse stolen, and then trapped into this world that's going to be doomed in 3 days. So, basically, what he has to do is he has to rescue. No, he has to. I guess he has to save. Yeah, he has to save that world that he's now trapped in before the 3 days are up, and if he can't, he has to go back to the 3 days before. It loses everything, any progress he made. There are ways to restore it. It's weird. But here's the thing. There's basically the 3-day cycle. It rounds out to about 50 minutes. So if anything you're trying to accomplish in 50 minutes you can't do, you're gonna have to go back to square one. And that's the thing. There was only like 4 dungeons, but they were difficult. They were difficult dungeons, especially since you had like a freaking time limit. Now, there is a thing called the song. If you do play Majora's Mask, there's the song of the inverted Song of Time. I didn't know about that when I played Majora's Mask, so I was just always up against trying to beat the clock whenever I was playing it. That was always annoying to me. That was kind of frustrating. I couldn't like just explore. I had to okay, I gotta get through this. It's day 2. I got a day and a half to finish this dungeon. And originally it wasn't too hard, but later on, when you're going to have to, I think by the time you get to the last dungeon, you're going to have to use the inverted Song of Time. And even then, that last dungeon is so complicated that you're gonna basically be bashing your head against the table or whatever you have within arm's length, and just frustrating. It's frustrating. And looking back now, I think I remember having a thought that if Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were made in the modern day, Majora's Mask would have been more of like a DLC add-on to Ocarina of Time. It is a good standalone game, but you have to play Ocarina of Time to enjoy it. I kind of feel like it piggybacked on Ocarina of Time's success. Other than that, though, really great story. The story was amazing because it had this whole morbid dread of like the moon falling, and like I think you have to like help the people in that town too to get certain masks. Yeah, you have to collect all the masks in that game. And in order to do that, you have to help everyone, and you have to like get invested in like these people. I think like the two lovers, there's this couple that's about to be married, and like the husband gets turned into a child, and you have to like help them, and it's just like, and it takes the entire 3 days, and you have to be there at certain times, and you have to get like really invested, and you have to and you're never going to do it right the first time, so you have to go back a number of times and try to help them again and again. If you want to know what it's like, try thinking of Steins Gate. When watch Steins Gate. That's what I kind of remember when I was watching Steins Gate. I remember playing Majora's Mask, and I'm like, wow. It has the whole time travel element, but it doesn't do it well because weirdly enough, you can take your money back with you if you stash it in the bank. That doesn't make any sense at all. I'd try to ignore that. Other than that, though, really good story, really well done, really cool game. But again, if you didn't play Ocarina of Time, I don't feel like you would really enjoy Majora's Mask. So I gotta put that in the A tier. Long walk for a short drink of water, I know, but still. So that's, yeah, kind of my list here. I mean, really, yes, six, if there, yes, I have 7 games, because these 7 games right here are like, honestly, it's like, I think like 3 years of my childhood right there. And then Banjo Kazooie was, I feel like I probably should have, if I enjoyed Banjo Kazooie more, that would have been higher up on the list. I feel like this is pretty solid though. But I do want to hear about what you guys think in the comments section. Let me know. Let me know about these other games down here. I mean, Beetle Adventure Racing, that sounds fun. Freaking Outblast or whatever. I'm trying to remember the name. God, names are gonna elude me. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. I feel like I played, but I can't remember. Can't remember it too well. And Ogre Battle 64 and Silicon Valley, I know I didn't play, so let me know how those games were. But yeah, that is going to wrap things up for this list, guys. Again, I want to hear what you think. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to Tim Plays Game. I'm probably going to do some more tier list videos later on. Till next time, this is Tim from Tim Plays Game signing off. And have a good night, guys.